welcome, family. This is your girl, Queen Zai, coming at you today to give you some help with manifesting. And we're going to talk about the power of thought. So stay tuned. Right now, I'm going to play a little singing bowl just to clear the air, get some positive vibes going on so you can receive this message that I'm about to bring you about the power of thought. All right. So hopefully that was a blessing. All right. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about the power of thought and how our thoughts are a key to us manifesting the reality that we desire. A lot of us are not having good times right now, or blissful times, or abundant times, or times where you're seeing your manifestations come into fruition. And a lot of that has to do with the thought process during the entire process, from the ignition of the desire until you have that desire affecting the physical. And so a lot of us are embarking upon these journeys where we want a desired thing. In order to get it, we must go a desired path to achieve it. And so once we do these two things, we have something in the physical that is tangible. And so a lot of our desires, even though we're going along that path, they're still not coming to completion. And a lot of this has to do with the power of thought. A lot of us feel that we are unworthy of the thing. We are unworthy. We are not qualified. We are not educated enough. We are not good enough. We allow our hidden insecurities to affect our thought process. And so along the journey, we start to um, vary. We start to, waver a little bit. We lose momentum. And that thing is still at the same distance, but the pace that we were going is now slowed, because the closer we get to that reality, the more negative thoughts are going to come, the more challenges that we're going to face, the more hurdles that we're going to have to jump over and exert a certain amount of energy to overcome. And so a lot of us don't actually reach the finish line because we give up, because our thought process makes us believe that we are um, undeserving, unaware, undeserving is the biggest thing. And so I had pulled some cards to see what I needed to talk to you guys about. What would be the most beneficial along your hoodoo journey, and especially at the beginning of a new year, where a lot of us are beginning to, manifest and, think about things we want to manifest in our lives. And so I want to talk to you guys about having the thought and keeping the thoughts of manifesting. And this card says the thoughts that I think today are pre-paving my future. And so it says every thought that you think that is directed towards what you want for your future is that of great benefit to you. Every thought that you are thinking about your future you do not want is a disadvantage to you. Whether you are thinking of vitality or health or decline or disease, you are pre-paving your way for the future. So Once you decide, okay, I want this thing A, keep that thought. Don't think negative. Don't say, oh, well, what if it doesn't come? Or what if it takes too long? Just keep thinking about that. Keep envisioning yourself with it. So, for an example, if it's a new car, or if it's a lover, or if it's a job, um, if it's a house, if it's, a certain amount of money, if it's a specific thing, envision that thing. Envision having that thing, that job. Envision having that lover. Envision yourself in that car. Envision yourself at your house. Envision yourself there. And every day you should do something, even if it's spending time just in gratitude for what you are manifesting. Okay? You need to spend time every single day in that energy. Okay? Now, that may look like this. You may have thoughts that go, you know, 10 minutes. You may spend 10 minutes, researching things on the internet to help you bring that desire forward. You may spend 10 minutes talking to someone about, wanting to, manifest this thing. You may spend, time, like I said, researching it, going out there, test driving the car, going out there looking for a home. Once you find that home, you may start doing, who do work to get that home. But you have to stay in a constant thought of what it is you want. Unwavering, no matter what happens, even if you had a bad day. You have to remove yourself from that negative energy of that day and focus and concentrate your energy. Even if it's in meditation, you must focus and concentrate your energy upon the thing in which you want, the thing in which you desire. All right. The next thing, I am a magnet and I am attracting unto myself. And this is again about the power of thought. If you think you don't deserve it, you won't get it. If you think that, you can't afford it, you won't afford it. If you think that, you know, you you're not good enough for that lover, you're not good enough for that job, you will never be. So from the beginning, you have to have the right thought, because if you don't keep the right thoughts at the right momentum, you are not going to be able to reach the finish line. It's a race, and it's a race against yourself and your timeline. That's what the race is. The race isn't against you and somebody outside in the physical world. It's a race against you and your timeline for trying to manifest that thing. So the more time and energy you put into it and practicing, meditation and thoughts and in gratitude and envisioning this thing. When it's time for you to make moves and you can make those moves and get that thing. All right. In the back of this card it says, without exception, what you give thought to, wanted or unwanted, you begin to invite into your experience. See yourself as a magnet, attracting into you the essence of whatever you are thinking or feeling. For an example, if you feel poor and you cannot attract prosperity. It defies law. So this is a universal law that what you think is what you have. And for an example, um, sometimes I wake up and I have to think about what I have and what I want, and in a mindset of I'm already having it. So I might wake up and I might, envision my house, envision my new bedroom, envision, my new car, or envision, the money in my bank account, what it'd be like sliding my debit card, or, going to the ATM, withdrawing the money, or whatever the case is. These are the things that you have to, stay mindful of the entire time. And it's gonna be days when you are doubtful. And that's the reason why you want to write your thoughts down, write your desires down. And those are the days when you feel weak, you go to your pen, you go to your paper, that you've written these things down, and you examine those things, you read over those things. If you have pictures of the items that you would like to manifest, or that lover, you would look at that lover and just, put yourself back into the energy of having that thing. That is absolutely the best way to block negative energy, is to go to that thing, because negative energy is also a form of fear. So it's like you're kind of afraid of actually having that thing because of the insecurity, because of the shadows, the things that's lurking in your shadows. So when you constantly remind yourself, constantly, this is what you want, this is what you're grateful for, this is what you're working on, this is what you're going to do. Um, it's a quote that says, um, the thing I do every day, that is the thing that I am. So if you are that, if this object is something that you want, every day you have to dedicate consistently a certain amount of energy and time into trying to bring that forward. And even if it's in thought and gratitude, even if it's in action, sometimes it's required to have action. Sometimes it's just meditation. Sometimes it's just writing it down. Sometimes it's planning it out. Sometimes it's applying for a loan. Sometimes it's asking that person out. But sometimes it does require action. And at some point, it will require action. But the first few steps don't require action. It really requires mindfulness, staying in mindfulness of what it is you desire. And then when the opportunity manifests in the physical for you to be able to take action, you take action towards that thing. All right. And the last thing is, there is nothing that I be, do, or have. So this lets you know that whatever it is you think that you desire, you can have it. Whether you think you deserve it or not, whether the world thinks you deserve it or not, just because you desire it, you can have it. And so this card says, welcome to planet Earth. There is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. Go forth on this day of your life, experience knowing that your real work is to decide what you want. Then focus upon that. Go forth, giving thought to what you want, attracting life experiences to help you decide what you want. And once you have decided, give thought only to that. So never think the opposite. Never think that you can't have that lover. Never think that you can't have that desired thing. Even if it's slow. I can remember when I made my vision board. It was some things on my vision board that I know I wasn't qualified for. That didn't stop me from putting it on there. And the universe began to open up ways to get me into those things. And I tried to be humble to those avenues, whether it's applying for a loan, whether it's, asking someone for help, whether it's going and getting this, going and doing that, A, B, C, D, F, G, whatever it is that is that is required for your desired thing. And so we have to be, in a momentum to want to complete things, because the completion of the journey, the completion of the race gets you the result that you want, the win, the object, the lover, the money, the job. So on this journey, we want to definitely keep the momentum in the thought, keep the desired thing in thought through the entire practices, the race. If you think about a person who won the Olympics, they didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I want to win the Olympics, and won it that same day. It took years and years and years of work, of keeping that end result in mind. I want to one day go to the Olympics and compete and possibly win or to win, and those thoughts. But so on the roadmap of life, our thought process, how we process our thoughts, how we process our actions, how we process our reactions is so vital and so important in this day and age, especially when you're trying to achieve a goal. You want to make sure that you're thinking about the journey and how the journey will affect, or the desired thing will affect your spiritual journey. You want to keep that in mind. Because, for an example, let's just say you're trying to manifest a lottery win. And this lottery win will keep you off your spiritual journey. You may manifest a smaller lottery win. You may manifest multiple smaller lottery wins, but that big one you probably will never be able to manifest because it may be the thing that keeps you from your spiritual journey. You know, um, I say like this: if the spiritual journey was meant for everybody to be a millionaire or a billionaire, the minute you got into the spiritual world and started manifesting, you would have been able to manifest that. It's people that's been on their spiritual journey for years that still have not manifested millions. So it's really how bad you want it. And those that didn't manifest their millions is because maybe their thought process was not where it needed to be. Maybe their spiritual journey, their end result was the millions, but they never got there. Maybe they timed out because all the distractions along the journey. There will be distractions along the journey, just like when you're in your thought process. There will be all of these things that hit your mind: financing, credit, money, job, stability, insecurities, all kind of things, what bills you gotta pay, what is due, what other people can contribute, things like that. So it's one of those things where your thought process will still be interrupted no matter what. So you have to find a way to um, counteract these distractions, to stay on the path. And a prepared soldier is the best soldier. I keep saying that, between the military and between sports, between the government, and the different judicial branches, we know that there is order and that you have to be prepared for everything for it to be effective. And yes, there are exceptions to the rule, but you still need a plan. You feel what I'm saying? Like you need guidelines, you need boundaries. And a boundary is not a boundary until it is clearly defined. And so that's the thing about thought. You have to know this is what it's going to take to get it. Okay, these are some of the hang-ups that I have. Okay, so when I have this hang-up, then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this, or if this comes up, then I'm going to do this, and then if it's this, then I'm going to do that. And you have to have a plan, and you got to write it down. You think a person who wanted to build a building only drew one aspect of it? No. But they did have to draw some aspect of it. Absolutely. But then you have to go into detail. Okay, what's the measurements? What's the real, what is really gonna take to build this? And then have a plan, and then get the people that's required and the items that's required to carry forth your idea until you build it into fruition. Like art imitates life. We see all of these things around us, yet we feel that it's not required in order for us to be able to, you know, manifest these things. And it is required. And again, that's about the thought. Give it thought, give it action, give it life, write it down, and allow your thoughts to stay consistent. And that's why writing it down is so important. I was watching a guy about journaling, And he was saying that he has a daily journal that he writes in that just keeps him on his path for whatever the desired goal is. And he refers to that every day. He has a little small, pocket-sized notebook that he carries around. And I think that's a wonderful idea, and it's something that I'm implementing into my itinerary or arsenal. So I want you guys to do the same thing. Write down the things that you're manifesting and working on in the steps. And as you go through the day, every day, look at that list that you're working on. And are you doing things every day towards manifesting that until it's into fruition? It's like having a pet. You take care of your pet every single day. You feed your pet, you walk your pet, you water your pet. The same thing with our desires. We have to feed it, water it, nurture it, spend time with it, you know. And when it gets dirty, or when it gets contaminated, or when it gets distracted, we got to, clean it up and keep going. So hopefully, you guys have been blessed by this and the power of thought, that you guys will keep into mindfulness, your desires. Make sure that you guys are spending time every day working towards your desired goal, especially in thought process, especially in thought process and in meditation. Okay, because meditation is about the thought. Meditation is about stealing the mind and focusing on the thought, focusing on the thing. So definitely start working on your thoughts. Start working on, making every action line up with your thoughts, making every day a day to manifest and meditate on your your desired effect. All right. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I want to welcome all my new subscribers. I rarely do that, but I'm going to start doing that more because I do want to continue with the attitude of gratitude. Um, and if you guys have any comments, let me know what you guys are trying to manifest in 2021. Is it a house? Is it a car? Is it a lover? Let me know in the comment section. Drop me an email. Let me know what you're doing, to help yourself manifest in 2021 because this is the year of, really bringing out what's in your mind into a physical reality. And so you want to have positive thoughts. So make sure you're keeping your thoughts positive, you're keeping your energies positive, you're keeping all negativity from around you, outside of you. Don't speak negative, only speak positive things, and you guys are gonna blow up. We gonna blow up together. I'm telling you guys. All right, family. So make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Peace, light, and love, family. Aalafia.